Alright, so I figured I'd make a video talking about how I'm going to kind of wire up my just plug light system for the train table. I have several houses. I have lights in the houses, gooseneck lights, porch lights, street lights, things like that. My original plan was to kind of set it up like this, where I would have two expansion hubs, but then I thought more about it. I don't need two expansion hubs on one board. What I needed was the light hubs. Don't plug your lights directly into expansion hubs. You'll blow your lights. Tip. And then I have these smaller little porch sharing devices where they could pop into one of these. And you can get an extra 4 slots. These are really super tiny. I don't feel like taking it out of the box, but oh wait, I think I have one out of the box already. Yeah. Okay. So there's my finger. You could tell how tiny that is. They're pretty small. So yeah, once that gets plugged in to, these get plugged into the light hubs, and the light hubs get plugged into the expansion hubs. Now, I am kind of looking at getting a sequencing hub. What the sequencing hub will do is randomly turn the building lights, because that's what I would hook them into, would randomly turn them off and on. So I'm looking into getting those sequencing lights. But yeah, you know, you have to sit there, and I'm figuring out all the amperage that I'm going to need for each set. And you know, each power pack can only handle 1,000 milliamps. I think that's what they're referred to as. I'm sorry, milliamps. But yeah, well, I wrote it down anyway. So here you go. So and I wrote that down too. The power source is good for 1,000. So I'd actually sit and figure out how much I was going to put on one board. And this one came pretty darn close. And this has actually changed a little bit. So I'm going to be recalculating all this. But the good news is that I've decided to go with another board. So I'll have 2 boards with 2 power packs, just to make it easier on myself. One basically used for the houses, not the houses, well, a house and the other buildings, and the other one for lights, like street lights, porch lights, things like that. So that's the way I've decided I'm gonna go. So, and I'll show you. This is the first one I did. This is going to be for the buildings, because that's where I've found that I have the most lights, all the structures. So, and this will have to handle only 1,000 milliamps. So here you go. You know, the power source will come into here. This auxiliary switch I like, because I can keep everything plugged in, and I just, you know, turn it off when I'm not around. turn it back on when I want to light everything up. I can control all the dimming, the brightness of all the lights in the houses. You know, if I don't like the way something's looking, or it's reflecting too much, or it's whatever the case is, I can adjust them. And each one of these gets wired back into the expansion hub. And the expansion hub can hold 4 of these. Each expansion hub could hold 4. So I did leave room for another one here, just in case. And the more I keep thinking about things, this is where I'd want to put maybe a sequencing light hub, where it would turn those building lights on and off randomly. And they're not cheap, though, I'll tell you that much. You can get these around $15 now, and so these aren't cheap either. But those sequencing hubs, I can't find any of them cheaper than 20 bucks. So, just FYI. So yeah, so after I plugged everything in, I flipped it over, kind of tidied it up a little bit, just to keep things out of the way, because eventually I want to mount this underneath the table. I want to have it swing up like this, put it on hinges on the back, and I'll be able to swing it up like this, so I can just a little more ease of use. So I'll have this one, and then, you know, this is, if I need to, this is another one where I could use this this port sharing. You know, I could plug this into any one of these in a light hub, and I can get an additional 4. But again, you have to watch your amperage. You still, just because you're using this doesn't mean you can go over 1,000. So you got to keep that in mind too. So you have to sketch it out. You got to kind of write things down and keep track of what you're doing. Otherwise, it's just going to be a big mess when you try to throw it together. And then you're going to be scratching your head and you'll get frustrated. Or at least that's how I would work. So this is my second board that I'm doing. Right now, I only have the 2 light hubs for this, because this is the street lights. I don't have as many street lights. I'm probably going to throw in some of the porch lights and maybe some of the goosenecks into this. And maybe, you know, I'll throw one of the, I have 4 of these porch sharers. So I may put a couple more of these porch sharing devices on this board, and use them more for the, like I said, the street lights, the back alley lights, the porch and gooseneck lights. And I also have vehicles. So, you know, a lot of those vehicles, you know, I added a couple nano lights, but the nano lights do not take a lot of amperage, so, which is a good thing. I don't know if I wrote those down. No, I didn't. I got the set, but yeah, but these are the street lights that I'm talking about. You know, two of these little street lights here. Let me get a box and show you. 2 of those double the double lamp post street lights, 20 milliamps. So, you know, you just got to do the math. So if you're not into math, well, you're gonna be. Otherwise, you're gonna drive yourself crazy. All right. So that's what it's coming down to. I got the 2 boards. I actually have a third board. These will be on each of the sides, but my third board is going to go in between these. And that's basically the power pack for the actual train. And the track, it has the track layout where the switches are and all those switches. As a matter of fact, one second. So this is the actual, this is the other one, that's the other board. So I'll have 3 boards lined up. This will be in the middle. This is just a power pack that I got laying around. That goes with the train. I'm only hooking one building up to this, so this will have its own power source. Each of these boards will have their own power source. All these switches will get put into the power pack. I've labeled where all the switches are on the track. Here's the track. So that's all this will be dedicated for. So this will be in the middle. This will be on the right. This will be on the left. And I think that's going to work out. So, yeah. That's what it's going to be. And that's how I'm going to roll. I decided to make the video because I was tucking all these wires back here, and I was like, well, I might as well show them exactly what I'm doing. So there you go. I'll get another video after I kind of set things up and show where the wires are going, how it's eventually going to look, and that'll be it. All right. See ya.